This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 Lexus GX 460. Up front is a 4.6 liter V8 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission.
This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
But let's get back to that 4.6 liter V8. Well, that is where this car, or SUV, whatever you want to call it, gets its name from. The GX is the model name, and then 460 stands for the 4.6 liter V8 that you get under the hood. It makes a decent amount of power. I'll put it up on the screen. And of course it is a V8, so don't expect huge MPG numbers, but here they are anyway. It's a very smooth V8. It's not a punch in your gut V8. Yes, it's going to be good at highway merging and getting up to speed, getting your kid to lacrosse practice on time, of course, but it's not going to be this like gut-wrenching V8 that snarls and breathes fire. It's nice and smooth. It's decently quick. It'll do numbers, but that's not the point of it. It's meant to be a smooth V8. And we'll talk about that later on, how this car is a very smooth, sort of elegant car. Like I said, paired to it is just an automatic transmission. I haven't had any issues with it. I've actually driven this car twice, and I'll talk more about that later. But in all my time of driving it, I've driven this car for essentially about 2 hours now, and it hasn't given me a single issue. So I really, really appreciate that. And of course, last but not least, this is four-wheel drive, and we have settings for that down below, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the interior. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 physical gauges. On the left is my tachometer with coolant to the right of that. And then on the right side, we have fuel and our speedometer. Then in the middle, we do get a little screen. I can look at elapsed time, average speed, average MPG, current MPG, after refuel MPG, cruising range, which way my tires are pointing. This is really helpful for if you're stuck in the mud, if you are going to off-road this. You can tell if your wheels are straight or if you're stuck in the snow, things like that. Outside temperature, and then back to a blank screen. Of course, I have my odometer at the bottom of that, and then what gear I'm in at the very bottom of that. What's interesting is that this car actually shows the sort of, I guess, shift pattern of the car. These cars have a pretty cheap shifter, and so in order to save money, they're like, I call them the jigsaw shifters. Well, there's actually a diagram of that down below, which is pretty interesting. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume and skip track options, and on the right, I have my phone options, voice commands, and then on the bottom right, I do have my cruise control options. To the left of me, bunch of buttons over here. I do have my power mirrors, power folding mirrors, dimmer switches for the gauge cluster. I do have headlight washers, interestingly enough. I'll try to get a video, although it is snowing, I do have headlight washers. Very interesting. Normally you'll find that in European cars, but this Japanese SUV has it. Then my traction control off button and 2 dead switches, and then my fuel cap opener down at the bottom. The door just has the window switches, lock and unlock, and then 2 different memory seat options on the door. I really, really like that. In the center, I do have 2 big vents and my navigation screen. This is a very large screen. I like it a lot. It is a little bit outdated, and of course this is a 3-year-old car, so I can't knock it too hard, but even for 2017 I feel like it's just at the cusp of being outdated. It's functional, it still works, it's colorful, looks to be a decent resolution, but it just looks a little bit outdated, looks a little 2000-y. Below that screen, I do have my climate control options. Nothing really too crazy, although I do have auto and I have dual zone. So the driver and passenger can decide their own separate temperatures, which of course I really like. And we have more radio options down at the bottom. Power and volume, seek, track, scroll, things like that. Now, down in the center console, we do have our aux and USB input, a 12-volt outlet, heated seat options, and cooled seat options. It's the same dial. You just have to keep on scrolling if you want to find the other, either hot or cold. Sort of hidden, but I like that. Then we have the shifter. Now, I called this the jigsaw shifter because in order to save money, Toyota doesn't allow you to go straight back. You have to move it back and left, or back and right, or forward and right, forward and left. You have to sort of move it around. The reason for this is so they didn't really have to engineer a button. A lot of cars have a shifter where you press the button and then you can move it in and out of gear. It's a safety precaution. Well, for this, if you bump it to the right, you're not going to do anything. If you just bump it back, you're not going to do anything. You would have to bump it in such a weird way to get it into neutral that you would have to do some weird kung fu trick to get it into neutral or reverse while driving. That's really not going to happen. So this is a cost-saving thing. Pretty much every Toyota or Lexus product from pretty much the 2000s onward has this shifter. They're changing it out now. A lot of newer models have opted for something besides this, but a lot of 2000s to 2017s obviously have that sort of dated cheap shifter. To the right of that, I do have my downhill control options and my four-wheel drive options, which is really nice that I do get four-wheel drive options here in the GX 460. They're not insane. It's not like mud, snow, gravel mode. It's just sort of 4 high, 4 low, but at least it gives you a little bit of customization. Then we do have a cup holder, which seems to come with a coffee already in it because this is such a mom car. Seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, heated and cooled, memory, power, all the things you want out of a seat, this will do for you. They're nice and comfortable, perforated leather, tan leather. I think they look great. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Lexus GX 460, and we do have 2 rows, so we will be talking about both. Second row, really nice. I do have high and low heated seats. Only 2 options, but I do have heated seats. It's huge. I have my own climate controls as well down here, auto, off, on, temperature up and down. And then I have these little fold-out cup holders that sort of fold into the side of the seat. I like that a lot. The seats are decently comfortable. I have vents up here, grab handles, things like that. Now we'll hop into the very back with this awesome YouTuber cinematic transition. Whew! Thought we were gonna have to 127 hours my leg. All right, so we're in the back of the GX 460. These are kids seats. As you can see, I can't even really fit my legs back here. My head is hitting the ceiling. I am 5'11". I do have a cup holder back here. Some tie downs, I guess. I mean, that's really it. These are if you need them seats. It's it's not good back here. Think I can, nope. Oh, maybe this. There we go. I could do that though. That's kind of neat. But as you can see, can't even fit my size 25 foot. Oh, there we go. Now I can. Yeah, not great. Last but not least about the interior is I do have this pretty sizable sunroof. By modern standards, it's a little bit small. A lot of luxury SUVs are kind of doing a glass roof. That seems to be a big trend at the moment. And so by modern standards, it's small, but for me, I like it. It adds a nice light airiness to the cabin. And as the great Jeremy Clarkson once said, luxury is defined by light and space. And so I have plenty of space in here, plenty of light in here. Makes it feel luxurious. Now we have to talk about the looks. I mean, I don't know how I really feel about this. It's big, first of all. This thing is massive. It is a very large vehicle. I don't think it's styled particularly intriguing. I don't think it's hideous either. I think society just sort of has this sort of, I don't know, feeling about this car, this SUV. And so let's talk about that. This is a mom car. To give you a little behind the scenes scoop, I actually filmed this review a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately a situation came up, I wasn't able to finish the review. I did that whole review wearing white sunglasses, holding a coffee cup. I think it says like rise and grind or don't talk to me before my coffee. I made this whole joke out of the fact that this is a mom car. This is a rich mom car. You will see more of these Lexuses at a single lacrosse practice than you'll see at your local Lexus dealer. I mean, that's just what these cars were. And so I made this whole big joke about it, like, oh, you know, I wore the big sunglasses, had the coffee, and I was like, don't talk to me before my coffee, and, you know, live, laugh, love, ha, 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 you know, things like that. I made a whole joke out of it. But actually, I ended up not being happy with that review because as I drove it, as I sort of got to know the Lexus, I understand why this is a rich mom car. And so there are a couple of reasons. First of all, it's high up off the ground. You don't want to be associated with the filth that is on our streets. You're high up, out of the air. It's a big vehicle, so it has presence. This thing definitely has road presence. It's a Lexus, so it has that nicer badge. I mean, this isn't a 4Runner. This is a Lexus. You know, it's not a Toyota. Same thing, but, you know, it has that road presence. It's large, it's big, it's in charge. It doesn't take your crap. You know, it has that sort of feeling about it. That's reason number one. But as I got to know it, reason number two, and honestly, it has become more and more apparent in my life. Reason number two is the fact that this is a calm car. I always shout. It's the Irish and Italian that's in my blood. I always shout in these reviews, but I don't have to. I can have a nice, normal, simple conversation like this. The V8 is super smooth. The ride is really, really smooth. And so it takes your stress away. When you are a parent, I can only assume how crazy stressful your life is. And it only multiplies per the amount of children you have. If you have 4 kids and they're all in sports and extracurriculars, you don't get a lot of time to yourself. And so when you do have time to yourself in traffic while you're commuting, it's nice and relaxing. It doesn't add stress to your life. I drive a 2007 Pontiac G6 that has a very, very colorful dashboard. I just crossed 192,000 miles on it. It's a tough hang. My Pontiac is a tough hang. And so in traffic, it rattles, it beeps, it squeaks, and you know, it's been on its last leg since Obama was elected for his first term. But this, I don't have to worry about this. It has Toyota reliability. This thing will run forever. It's comfortable, it's smooth, it's quiet. And honestly, I'm gonna get into a little bit of a rant here, but follow me. Right now, literally right now, the world is amidst the coronavirus outbreak. And so I hope that you're watching this video some point in the future and you're laughing and go, oh, I remember that. But right now, the shelves on stores are absolutely empty. My schooling, my college schooling has been canceled. The elementary schools have been canceled. There is a stay-home policy. There is a quarantine. And tonight, we are waiting to hear from our president if he enforces a nationwide quarantine that could last up to 8 weeks. This is true anxiety fuel. I have been on the edge of my seat for a little under a week at this point, and it might just be getting started. And so, the reason I bring this up in a review that you're probably watching months and months and months from now is that I am incredibly stressed right now, but this car doesn't add to my stress. When you're scrambling to Whole Foods or Meijer to try to find any morsel of toilet paper, it's going to be hectic, but the drive to and from there doesn't have to be all that bad in this. This SUV kind of makes you forget about current events. It makes you forget about how crummy the world is sometimes. While I'm driving this car right now, I'm safe. I'm worry-free. And so while I was disappointed that, you know, my first review of this car failed and I couldn't release it, I'm now happy to be driving it again because of this world scenario, this horrible, horrible pandemic that's nothing like I've ever seen before. Since now I have that on my shoulders, I can appreciate this car even more. For these 45 minutes that I have this car, I'm all right. I'm all right. My anxiety's all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their used Lexus GX 460. I'm really glad I was able to drive this thing, and I'm really glad I was able to finally release this video for you guys. I've been wanting to do that for quite some time, and of course I was bummed when things didn't work out the first time, but huge thank you to Toyota Naperville. They've been nothing but accommodating, absolutely the best service, great people there. If you don't like Lexuses, if you don't even like Toyotas, they have tons of vehicles on the lot right now, trucks, SUVs, sedans, coupes, manual, automatic, hybrids, whatever you want, they have it. So if you are looking for a vehicle, I'd highly recommend looking through their website. Or if you're watching this right as it comes out, we're quarantined anyway. Why don't you just take some time to look at their website, just see what they have, just for your own entertainment. It's not like you could do anything else. And so, thank you guys so much at Toyota of Naperville. They are the absolute best, and I hope to work with them more in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if the virus hasn't gotten you already. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.